the confession that made no sense. If you think this case is strange now, just wait until you hear what happened in that interrogation room. Hit subscribe, buckle up, and don't look away, because this one changes everything. It started on a freezing February morning in Cold Springs, Missouri, population barely 2,000. The kind of town where everyone knew everyone, and where nothing bad ever really happened. Until that day. A farmer driving his pickup down Route 19 noticed a dark stain in the snow near the edge of the woods. He thought it was spilled oil at first, until the wind lifted a corner of a blanket. Beneath it lay a young woman's body, pale against the frost, her eyes open toward the overcast sky. By the time police arrived, the temperature had dropped below 20. Snowflakes fell softly around flashing red and blue lights. Detective Mason Kearns zipped his coat and crouched beside the body. The victim, later identified as Holly Price, was just 23 years old. No sign of robbery. No defensive wounds. Only a faint bruise at the side of her neck and a piece of torn fabric caught beneath her fingernails. Part of someone's jacket, maybe. The investigation kicked off immediately. News spread faster than the cold wind that swept across town. Holly had been missing for 2 days, last seen leaving the local library after her evening shift. Security cameras showed her walking toward the parking lot around 9:18 p.m., but the footage cut off right before she reached her car. When detectives checked the system, half the hard drive was wiped clean. Kearns wasn't the kind to chase ghosts. He believed every case had logic, even when people didn't. So when an anonymous tip came in 3 days later naming Eli Barker, a 27-year-old mechanic, as the man acting strange, he didn't waste time. Eli lived in a small trailer on the outskirts of town, run-down, cluttered, quiet. When detectives knocked, he answered immediately. Cooperative. Nervous, but not evasive. He even let them in. Inside, the place smelled like motor oil and burnt coffee. The only odd thing they noticed was a woman's earring on the counter, small, silver, shaped like a leaf. Eli said it wasn't his. He looked confused when they showed it to him. I fix cars, he said. People leave stuff behind all the time. Still, they brought him in for questioning. The interrogation room was barely larger than a closet. Single table, metal chair, humming fluorescent light. Kearns sat across from him. You knew Holly Price? Yeah. She came into the shop once. Break issue. Did you ever talk to her outside of work? Eli hesitated, rubbing his hands together. She stopped by a couple times. Asked about her car. As hours passed, detectives circled back to the same questions. They told Eli his fingerprints were found on Holly's steering wheel, which was true. They told him her blood was found on his jacket, which wasn't. They pushed, repeated, cornered. By midnight, Eli looked broken, eyes bloodshot, voice cracking. I just want to go home, he whispered. Detective Kearns leaned in. Tell us what happened, Eli. You were there. We just need to know why. And that's when Eli said it. I did it, he murmured. I didn't mean to. It just happened. The detectives exchanged glances. They had a confession, but something about it felt wrong. Eli's voice was empty, detached. He couldn't describe where it happened, what time, or even what she was wearing. Every detail came out jumbled, uncertain, like he was guessing, not remembering. Still, protocol was protocol. The next morning, Eli Barker was officially charged with the murder of Holly Price. The sheriff's department held a press conference. Reporters filled the lobby, cameras flashing, headlines exploding across local news. Local mechanic confesses to shocking murder in Cold Springs. People were relieved. They had someone to blame, someone to fear, someone to hate. But Detective Mason Kearns couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. Back at the station, he rewatched the interrogation footage. Every frame, every pause, every flicker of that broken young man's eyes. Then he noticed something he couldn't explain. Every time Eli looked toward the corner of the room, his expression changed. Recognition. Kearns rewound the footage. Zoomed in. In the reflection of the metal table's surface, faint but clear, was the outline of a second person standing behind the one-way mirror, someone who wasn't supposed to be there. And just before Eli confessed, That shadow leaned forward and whispered something. Pressure points. The reflection on the stainless steel tabletop wouldn't let Detective Mason Kearns sleep. By morning, he was back at the station with a thermos of burnt coffee and a list of names. Observation room logs were supposed to be airtight. Who watched, how long, why. The line for Eli Barker's interrogation had a neat time stamp, 2 initials for the detective on duty, and nothing else. The guest field was blank. Someone had dropped a ghost into the room and scrubbed the record. Kearns found Rita Salazar, the night shift custodian, mopping the corridor. You see anyone go into observation 2 around midnight? She glanced both ways, voice dropping. A tall man in a gray suit. No name tag. Said he was from the Attorney General's office. Didn't sign the book. Smelled like mint and expensive cologne. She hesitated. He had a key I've never seen. Kearns walked straight to Captain Rourke's office. The blinds were half closed. Rourke stared at a wall of reporters on mute. What? Who was in my room last night? Rourke didn't blink. A liaison. We asked for help. The town's on fire. That confession's rotten, Kearns said, jaw tense. I want the liaison's name. Rourke's smile didn't reach his eyes. What you want is a clean, closed case. We've got one. Stop digging holes and fall in line. Across the hall, Detective June Park, Kearns' partner, waited, phone to her ear. She pulled him aside. I traced Holly's phone to the library lot. After 9:18 p.m., it goes dark. But get this, Eli's phone was pinging off a tower 20 miles east at the same time. If he turned his off to hide, it still would have left a handshake. It didn't. Alibi? Kearns asked. Maybe, unless someone borrowed his phone. They hit the library first. The manager handed them a stack of keys and a look that said, please fix this. The basement caged room hummed with routers and a wheezing backup server. Half the feeds were intact, looping empty hallways. The parking lot feed glitched into static right before Holly reached her car. The same minute the building's network clock desynced by exactly 8 minutes and 34 seconds. Intentional, June muttered, opening the panel. Inside, tucked behind cables, a portable signal spoofer blinked its last green light. Wrapped in tape was a sticker from a private security firm neither of them recognized. A hexagon, the letter Q at its center. Kearns snapped photos. They don't usually hide their toys in public basements. Back at the evidence lab, bad news stacked like boxes. The partial fabric under Holly's fingernail? Gone. Logged out by a tech who was suddenly out sick. The silver leaf earring from Eli's trailer? It didn't match Holly's jewelry. It matched a gift shop 3 towns over, stamped with a return policy date, 5 years old. June checked the chain of custody logs. These entries were edited, she said. Look at the metadata. Different hand. Same username. Who? Rourke's, she said softly. They stared at the screen until the lab's fluorescent lights buzzed like hornets. Kearns' phone vibrated. Unknown. He stepped into the hallway. A recorded voice played, low and precise, as if every syllable had been weighed. Detective Kearns. You're sharp. Don't cut yourself. Eli Barker confessed. Let the town breathe. The call ended. The number traced nowhere. By late afternoon, Eli's public defender arrived, eyes furious. You kept my client in a box for 14 hours, she said. He asked for a lawyer twice. Both times your liaison told him to cooperate or we'd revisit his brother's parole. Eli has no brother, Kearns said. She opened a folder. Not by blood. Foster system. Jonah Mays. He calls him a brother, and Jonah is on paper with a suspended sentence. Your mystery man did his homework. Kearns played the interrogation audio on a forensic suite with a spectral analyzer. Buried under the fluorescent hum were 6 words, whispered in a cadence that didn't belong to anyone in the room. Say you did it and this ends. June stared at the waveform. Coercion. Manufactured, Kearns said, and sanctioned by somebody. They drove to Jonah Mays' apartment. The door was open, the chain snapped. The living room smelled like ozone and lemon cleaner. A single page lay on the coffee table, a redacted probation notice with a handwritten line at the bottom. We can make this disappear too. A scream cut across the hall. June ran to the balcony. A dark sedan tore away from the curb, its rear plate smeared with mud. On the asphalt, a burner phone buzzed until June answered. "Detective Park," the voice said calmly. "Stop hunting ghosts. You're outnumbered." She hit speaker. "Who is this?" "Call me Quinn," the man said. Mint on his breath even through the line. "I solve problems. You two are creating one." The sedan turned the corner and vanished. They didn't go home. Kearns sent his son to his sister's house without explanation and asked June to do the same with her parents. The night pressed down on Cold Springs as if the sky had lowered. At midnight, June texted from her apartment. "File sent. Backup of library server plus lab logs." A second later, "Someone at my door." Then nothing. Kearns drove like the road was a fuse. June's door hung open, lock splintered. The apartment was neat, too neat, as if someone had tidied the struggle away. On the kitchen counter, a single mint wrapper gleamed like a signature. The living room TV was on, volume low, tuned to the local news replaying the press conference where Rourke praised the swift resolution of Holly Price's murder. Kearns's phone pinged. One new email from June's address. No subject, one attachment. He opened it. A photo filled the screen, the station's one-way mirror. In the glass, reflected in the room's dim glow, stood the tall man in the gray suit. No face, just a silhouette and a lapel pin shaped like a hexagon with a Q. Below the image, 3 words typed in June's clipped style. "He has me." The man behind the mirror. Cold Springs awoke under a blanket of fog so thick it muffled the sirens. By the time the sun rose, the case everyone thought was solved had quietly been erased from the headlines. Eli Barker's trial was delayed indefinitely. Detective June Park's disappearance was labeled a personal leave. The sheriff's office locked its doors for renovation. Detective Mason Kearns knew what that meant. The town was being rewritten. He parked his car across from the courthouse, engine idling, his eyes on the man stepping out of a black sedan. Tall, gray suit, neat hair, and that same minty smell that clung to the night of the confession. "Quinn." He walked straight past the deputies, flashing an ID that no one dared question. Kearns followed from a distance, camera on his phone quietly recording. The man entered the courthouse basement, a place supposedly sealed to the public. Kearns waited 2 minutes, then slipped inside. The hallway lights buzzed overhead, throwing long shadows across the concrete floor. Down 3 flights, through a locked maintenance door, he found it. A surveillance center disguised as an archival storage room. Rows of monitors glowed faint blue in the dark, looping footage from interrogation rooms, traffic stops, even private homes. Files labeled with case numbers that didn't exist in any police database. And on the center screen, June Park. She was alive, sitting in a bare room, her wrists resting on the table, eyes fixed on something off camera. The timestamp read live. Kearns's pulse hammered in his ears. He scanned the screens, found a keyboard, and hit playback. June's voice filled the room, quiet but steady. "They made me delete everything," she said. "The lab logs, the library footage. They call it protocol clean slate. Anyone who sees what they shouldn't disappears." Her voice broke. "They didn't just make Eli confess. They've done this before." Footsteps echoed from the corridor. Kearns ducked behind a server rack as Quinn entered, speaking into an earpiece. "Yes, the detective's still active," he said. "He's loyal but curious. That can be fixed." He placed a file on the desk, Kearns's personnel record, stamped pending review. Then he switched the main screen to a feed of Kearns's own home. His son's bedroom. The boy asleep, unaware. Kearns's throat tightened. The meaning was clear. 1 step out of line, and the boy was next. When Quinn left, Kearns moved fast. He copied June's live feed, the clean slate files, and the internal recordings to a flash drive. Before leaving, he took one last look at the monitors. Eli Barker was on one of them, pacing in a small, windowless cell. The timestamp on his footage was 2 days after the department had announced his transfer to state prison. He was never transferred. He never even left Cold Springs. Kearns drove to the old broadcasting tower outside of town, the only place still off-grid. Rain streaked down his windshield, and thunder rolled like static overhead. He plugged the flash drive into his laptop, uploaded the files to every news contact he had, and one anonymous journalist he trusted in St. Louis. Before the progress bar hit 90%, his headlights caught movement in the rearview mirror. 2 black SUVs. Headlights dim. Approaching fast. He hit send all. A gunshot cracked the night, glass shattered, tires screamed. Kearns swerved off the gravel road and into the woods, smoke rising from the hood. He stumbled out, clutching the flash drive, but it was empty. The data had transferred. Somewhere, someone now had everything. When he looked back toward the road, Quinn was there. Calm, unhurried, umbrella in hand. "You should have listened," he said. "We only wanted peace." Kearns lifted his badge, blood on his fingers. Peace doesn't come from fear. A second later, the headlights flared, and then darkness. 3 weeks later, a St. Louis Tribune article appeared online for 30 minutes before being taken down. It contained one embedded video titled, "The Innocent Man Who Confessed Because He Was Terrified." The footage showed Eli Barker in the interrogation room, whispering into the camera, trembling. "They said if I didn't confess, my brother would vanish too." The screen cut to static, then to a new message, white text on black background. "They control what we confess. They control what we forget." Below it, a single photo, Mason Kearns, standing in the rain outside the courthouse, face blurred. The video ended with the sound of breathing. Then a whisper. "If you're seeing this, it means they failed." The truth never dies.